AM hits to FM album rock. No doubt that band was and remains, to this day, Led Zeppelin. Songs were the thing with Led Zeppelin is their songs were too long, and there were too many good ones, and the AM band just could not handle them all at once. With us on the phone right now is John Paul Jones, former Zeppelin bassist, and he's got a brand new solo album out. The solo album, we're listening to that behind us now?
It's called Zuma. This is the title track, and it's due out in September.
All right, let's, John, how you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
Cool, we just want to listen to a little of your bass playing. Hang on a second. Wow, John. You're not slowing down with age.
No, I'm trying to keep up there.
But I'm noticing two things right about that cut Zuma, John.
Mm-hmm.
No singer, and not a lot of guitar playing.
You spotted them.
Seagulls and bass.
Screw those guys.
I'll show them.
It's some amazing bass work, and Joe has spent a little more time listening to it than I have. But for those that think that, solo albums are always like mellow, and the guy's, getting tired and wants to make some easy listening music, that would not be this album, right, John?
No, this is hard listening.
Good.
I think, this is the way I like to play rock and roll. There's no point in sitting back and putting your feet up and strumming around, and you can do that at home in front of the TV. Mm-hmm. If I want to come out and come on stage and play something, I like it to be driving, I like it to be hard, I like it, to be attacking, and all that sort of stuff. That's rock and roll for me.
Right. John, you are one of the greatest bass players of all time.
Oh, thank you.
You have always played some amazing stuff. Now, as a bass player, when you're learning how to play bass, it's from my experience in bands, there's always some sort of a struggle between the bass player and the guitar players, and typically the guitar player will be trying to convince the bass player to do less, just play the root note or whatever, and it seems that it's almost the bass player's job to figure out clever ways to do more and have it and still not get too busy. Do you remember that struggle as a bass player when you were learning?
Not really. I think guitarists are all frustrated bass players, actually. No, I mean, the function of the bass player is to keep it all together and leave the guitarist to room to do what he does, and the singer to do room to do what they do. You got to be listening all the time. You've got to lock in with the drummer. You've got to pay attention to the harmony, the rhythm. There's a lot of stuff to be done, and that's why we don't move too much. We're too busy.
We don't have time to jump around.
We don't have time.
All those other guys.
We have a job to do in the band.
Exactly. Right. Somebody's got to mind the shop, while the front guys are out doing their stuff. And
how much, like over the years with Led Zeppelin and, of course, John Bonham, one of the greatest drummers to ever live, how much did you and John actually, was it mostly feel, or did you actually discuss and talk about certain tricks and moves and things, or both?
It was feel. We were both pretty experienced musicians, and drummers and bass players like to spot each other anyway. When you've played with a lot of rhythm sections, you get to know who are the really good ones, and we kind of realized what we were, what we could be, almost immediately from the word go. As soon as we hit it out, and then it was just a matter of the more we played, the closer we grew, and our parts would really interlock, and we'd give each other freedom and support and all this sort of stuff. Musical fun.
Now, I don't know if you heard in the intro, but it's been theorized by many, and I happen to believe this, that FM album rock came about largely because your songs were too damn long for the radio, for the AM format.
I don't know. It's chicken and egg, really. We used to go to every radio station, or the FM underground radio, as it was.
Mm-hmm.
They were exciting times, but they were free to put on an album. They would simply put on what they liked, and okay, we'll give you an idea in 40 minutes. It's like fantastic, and they were really great times, and they did a lot for us. They really did.
So you're crediting the times as well, but
yeah.
But when, for example, when Kashmir came out, A guy could lose his virginity and only one song would play the whole time, the back seat of a car. I don't know where. Oh, I've already confessed that.
They're quick over here, huh?
Yes, he is.
Excuse me, but that's 9 minutes. But I mean, it was.
You want to go again? Song's only half over.
But it was a very long song compared to most that were out at that time. Did you ever think about that? Did you guys not care? Was a song just done when it was done, or did you say let's just go ahead and break the rules?
No. I mean, a long song was long because it was musically required to be that way. We didn't really have any rules, which was the plan. The plan was there is no plan, and as long as you stuck to the plan, everything worked.
And a song like Dazed and Confused, how could you make it less than 20 minutes
Precisely,
long?
yeah, precisely.
A masterpiece.
But as you pointed out, radio didn't actually have any problems with long songs. I mean, if they didn't have a long song, they'd play 2 songs. So it really didn't make any difference.
Actually, not on the FM band. And the truth was, the FM band was the throwaway stations that didn't make any money. And the AM band had to play the commercials every so often, and so
Right.
they would actually say, we can't play that, it's more than 3.5 minutes.
But there were really 2 cultures at that time. There was this whole underground thing, the underground groups and that whole sort of subculture of rock music. It really wasn't part of the AM top 40 stuff, and it didn't want to be, and in fact, I mean, as all these things, this cyclical stuff starts up, deep down, it's like alternative rock, it starts up in little clubs and little radio stations, and then it surfaces through to the mainstream, and then something else comes up from the bottom, and that's a continual cycle. I think it's very healthy for music and radio.
John Paul Jones, the personal John Paul Jones today. Just a little about your personal life. You married. What's your typical day like? Do you have like some hobbies and gardening and things? What does John Paul Jones do?
Well, at the moment they're kind of filled with interviews and things.
Right,
promoting this album.
Yeah, this stuff.
Another fine mess I've got myself into, but I'm happy doing that. I live in London. I do things like normal people do. I'm married. I've got daughters, but grown-up family, grandchildren, all that sort of stuff. Like people do.
What do you listen to for fun? Do you listen to like next generation of music, alternative music? Do you have the classic? Do you have a classic rock station in Britain? Radio's a little different there.
We may do. I don't know what it is.
No kidding.
I don't. Generally, I don't listen to old music.
Do you listen to
I never did. I was always interested in what was next.
Do you listen to your music at all?
No.
Your old stuff, really?
No.
I can't
Occasionally,
imagine.
every now and again, we did like the BBC sessions. That album came out, and with checking the tapes, I thought, wow, this stuff is really good. I'd forgotten how good this stuff was.
Those guys were pretty good. They deserved to make it.
It's nice to do it like that way, to be pleasantly surprised when something else comes out and you go, oh, that's okay,
These days, of course, really no big deal, but it's sort of more or less assumed that you and the other 2 Led Zeppelin members, not much of a shot of getting back together, haven't seen eye to eye for a while. Is there any change in that, or are you open to that sort of thing?
Well, no, there's no chance of getting back together. But,
Zero.
No, yeah. 0, yes. We have
man, isn't there nothing they could say?
We have different...
Look, John, we're sorry, that kind of a,
Well, they'd have to fit into my somewhat busy schedule at the moment.
Way down inside, we're sorry.
There's any interest.
Way down inside.
There's no interest on either side, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, I certainly have interest in seeing you, John. I know you're doing a tour with the album. Will you be in the States?
Oh, yes. For October, I think the whole of October is going to be in the States. And, I'm really looking forward to it. This album is designed to be played live. That's the whole point of it. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be a power trio. I've got a Chapman stick player, Nick Beggs, and a drummer who have not yet finalized. And I'll be playing multi-string basses, lap steel guitar, all sorts of stuff, a bit of organ. So it's going to be great.
John Paul Jones, Led Zeppelin bassist. Thank you so much for everything over the years, and check out the new album. What's it called, Joe?
Zuma.
Where did that name come from, John?
Zuma, it's just got a great feel about it. It's just a fast, my last name.
John Paul Jones. John, thanks a lot.